morning, folks. Senior Pride here. First of all, I would really like to thank my first 3 subscribers. You guys own my heart. You got to start somewhere, and you folks have given me the impetus to keep going. Thank you. Now, today we're going to talk about what I call the age blame game. So everything is about age, and nobody's willing to accept that some things are what they are. So, for example, someone gains a little weight, or maybe they're a little heavy all along. It's because you're older. It has nothing to do with the fact that maybe they were raised in a home where they were taught to eat foods that were less healthy. It has nothing to do with their metabolism. It has nothing to do with anything. No, it's because you're older. What about people who've been in pain for 50 or more years? No, it's because you're older. So all those years are ignored. All the difficulties they experienced in relation to that pain are ignored. It's because they're older. I've actually had people tell me my allergies are because I'm older. You gotta be kidding me, right? I was the little kid that was sneezing at 3 with hives everywhere. A lot of the stuff that we as a society kind of blame on getting older starts at least when we're much younger. And it may not show it may not rear its ugly head until we get older, but the process is there when we're younger. Other things are there when we're much younger. For instance, I've been in pain since I was a teenager. I was never overweight, never obese. I was always a very physically active child, and young adult, and middle-aged adult, and older adult. My eating habits have always been quite good, even compared to a family which was really focused on kind of instant foods and fast foods. I managed to pick out the good stuff. So it wasn't habits. It is what it is. Now, I've probably helped myself through healthy habits. That doesn't mean pain wasn't there, but it's easier for us as a society to engage in these stereotypes that all of these things magically start when we hit around 50. And they progressively get worse. The idea that they could have been there before doesn't exist. I know a lot of older adults who have been obese since they were children. It has nothing to do with age. In fact, they're probably healthier now because they're taking more control than they were when they were younger. But society says, oh, well, you're older, so that's why you're obese. No, this has been an ongoing issue, and there's multiple reasons, many of which have nothing to do with a person's personal choices. It's what we're stuck with. We live in a society where a few megacorps control the food sources that we access. They control what we put in our bodies. So we're kind of trapped in this environment where it's very easy for obesity to take place at a very early age, and it continues. My niece, who's not even 40 yet, has type 1 diabetes, so childhood diabetes, and she's had it all her life. But I guarantee 20 years from now, somebody will say, oh, that's because you're older. Has nothing to do with age. Childhood diabetes has nothing to do with age. Behaviors that change. People will assume that they have to do with age. Now, what about people with like autism or ADHD or, a multitude of issues that tend to get diagnosed when we're quite young and do lead to behaviors that can be troublesome or concerning or just different, unique. As they age, we kind of shift the blame to their age and don't recognize that these people have been experiencing these difficulties or issues or just differences since they were quite young, since they were born. As an adult with a learning disability, my learning disability was diagnosed at 9, so nobody questioned it. Now, when I was 9 and someone said the word learning disability, everybody just threw it. No, there's no such thing. And in the nomenclature of the day, and I'm very disgusted by using this word, but this is what they said, she's retarded. It was easier at that age than accepting that there might be specific kinds of things like dyslexia and dysgraphia. As I've gotten older, people have just ignored those issues because, hey, it must be cognitive decline. It can't be that she's had this learning disability since she was born. I'm waiting for someone to tell me my left-handedness is because of age. But this is the thing, like all of these things that we experience all through life, yes, there may be some changes as we get older. Certainly, we do change as we get older. But they are not necessarily age-related. They can be habit-related, they can be birth-related, they can be or just things that we grew up with, they can be genetic, there's so many causes, and they can be there all our lives. And to discount the first 50, 60 years of our life or more and just place it on age is kind of offensive. Because to assume that everybody gets older, has all these problems, and to assume that younger people don't have to contend with issues is really wrong. It smacks of the stereotypes that we in our society engage in and continue to engage in. Stereotypes that should be long gone, that we have more than enough research and evidence, both practical and through research, to understand these things do not cause, these things are not age-related, and yet we assume this stuff. But what I have seen, quite frankly, is that older people tend to take better care of themselves, tend to have coping strategies that they have learned over a lifetime so that they can handle whatever they're contending with much better than they did when they were younger. So when they're younger, we use words, and I remember this word, and again, it's one that isn't used anymore, but I think there's some people that still go with it. Hysterical. We used to, any female that had really bad periods or that had pain or anything, we would call her hysterical. The idea that this could be a physical symptom that actually was causing great distress, totally beyond us. Now, obviously some of us older ladies don't have painful periods anymore, but when we go through menopause, again, for females, it is, they're just overreacting. They're making more of it than it is, despite everything we know about menopause, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. For ladies who get hot flashes, and you know who you are, you're way past it, you're postmenopausal, you're still getting those hot flashes, there's more than enough research bearing out that this is an actual symptom of or the continued state of the changes in hormonal function. And yet, some people don't get it. They just assume that, well, she's just complaining. There's so many things. I mean, men, I know you know how your bodies change. I know you can research the physical changes that you go through as you age. But as you grow up, think about the teen years for boys. They're horrendous. And yet we underestimate them. We laugh at boys. We make horrible jokes about what they're going through. So as they get older, they develop sometimes not the most healthy coping mechanisms to try to confront these changes in the bodies. That leads to other behaviors, which leads to other behaviors, and I'm not going to go there. I may go there one day, but I'm not going to go there today. The point is, as they get older, they hopefully develop more effective coping mechanisms. We seem to ignore, when people get older, we seem to ignore everything that happened in their past. That 50, 60, even 70 or 80 years is just off the charts. We don't care. Why? Those years made who we are. We are who we are because of our life experiences, because of everything we went through, we learned, we tried to develop. All the things we did in our life come together to make us who we are. We are continually changing. Age, as we get older, is just one more stage of development. And the fact that people ignore what we went through as when we were younger to try to excuse everything on the basis of our age, again, it's offensive. It's ignorant. Nobody is created in a bubble. We all have a life that helps to define who we are. So let's respect each other. Let's accept each other. And for God's sakes, listen. Someone might have something very interesting to teach you about change and growth and age. Thank you.